gosh. I was literally about to push live and Ivan called. I was like, why do you keep calling me at this time? I'm always live at this point. He's like, whoops. Hi guys. All right. So you guys, there's some good UVDTFs up on the website today. Hi Jerry. There's some good UVDTFs up on the website. One, goat. In general, if you hear someone say, oh, he's the goat, that means greatest of all time. But this one says God over all things. So for all my God girlies, my Jesus girlies, it says God over all things. Okay, so that's up on the website today. And then the Highland Cow total tumbler. Oh, look at this little Highland Cow with the bang bangs, and then it's got a little plaid and a little bandana to do your total tumbler. So stinking cute. Okay, total tumbler. Then you have I'm telling dad. So this is similar to the other one that says I saw that. And then there's this one that says I'm telling dad. Okay. Ivan has both of those in a shirt and I love them. So I was like, we're doing it as detail. And then we have brass roses. They're steampunk roses, a full sheet, a full mixed sheet of steampunk roses. I don't have them in hand yet. The package hasn't shown up here, so I'm just showing it to you on the website. Okay, look, steampunk roses. These will sell out fast. The steampunk roses will go quick. They're the perfect accent for doing like your busy steampunk tumblers. And there's a bunch on one sheet. It's a smoking deal. So get your steampunk. Sorry, you guys, I'm cleaning my glasses here. Fingerprints all over them. Okay. Steampunk. Okay. And this is called Bear Paw. This is another total tumbler. It's going to have kind of like a Northern Lights, almost a little strip to do like a split cup. They're going to have the tree line, this beautiful thick tree line. And then it says Mama Bear. And then it's got these two paws that have like a little winter snow-capped trail with bear on it. And then a bunch of little bear paws. So cute. Okay. Those are the new UVDTFs up on the website. And then there's also the RBD. So way back when, like over a year ago, we did a red rose in the swag bags. And Alyssa's like, we've never actually put these back up on the website. We have some overstock of them. I do highly recommend for this red rose one. It's a red rose pattern. Looks amazing on a tumbler. But I do recommend either getting the vinyl, you want to sublimate it on or get the sublimated tumbler. So buy the sublimation and sublimate the tumbler for it, or order the sublimation tumbler from us. Because if you just put it right on the white or silver tumbler, any crack in between, all you're going to see is white and or silver. And because it is a black background, it is very noticeable between the stones. Okay, so I recommend for if you're going to do this red rose one, either if you can sublimate the design onto the tumbler, or buy the sublimated tumbler, or if you're like neither of those are my jam, glitter, spray paint your tumbler black or red, do a black or black red glitter swirl, just cover it with black or red glitter, cover it, get a nice smooth layer, and then follow your map and do your stones over your map over the top of that glitter base. Don't do it on a white base because you're going to see all that white in between. When you're doing a tumbler that has a lot of white in it like this and it's white in between, it doesn't matter. But because it's a black background on that one, okay, so that's up there. If you missed it yesterday, we also put the Elegant Weaver up on the website. If you click on Elegant Weaver, it's an a la carte. So you can order the sublimation tumbler, sublimated tumbler, the vinyl wrap, or the sublimation print from us. And then in the description of that is a link to an Amazon storefront that has it, the selection of either resin or glass for the stones that you can buy for it. Those are just the colors that I suggest, but you can substitute. Let's say you like peach instead of orange, do a peach. And let's say you want to do like a baby pink instead of a hot pink or the opal pink, just select those. But I made it a quick click into Amazon through the description of that Elegant Weaver. Okay, so that's also sold a la carte. And then if you missed it yesterday, we now have a case of 50 20-ounce sublimation ready tumblers on the website. Okay, It's a smoke and deal. It makes them like $3.65 a piece, which is an unbelievably good price, you guys. So, but they're only sold in a case of 50. So those are up on the website. Okay, now we are going to jump right into crafting today. There are those three coupon codes are still working. So if you didn't shop the last couple days, Leopard, Cactus, and Dreamer coupon codes are still active. They will work through today. Is today? They will work through tomorrow. They work through the 10th. So that means you can get the Dark Leopard UVDTF and get the Giraffe UVDTF print for free. That's using the Leopard code. For Cactus, you get the Prickly Cactus UVDTF that you pay for, and then you get the Barn Daisy UVDTF for free. And then for Dreamer, you buy Let It Snow Micro Mix, and you get the Dream Weaver. Sorry, it's supposed to say Dreamer. Dream Weaver. Let me see if I can edit that. Hold on. That's a mistake. Here. Projects. I'm such an idiot, you guys. There it is. Sorry, Dream. I am such an idiot. We've been digitally printing some rhinestone thing on our 3D printer. My kids are like, no, we want to do our own thing. I'm like, Mom is printing something for myself. I'm making this for myself. And it is almost done. And I closed my computer. Didn't even think about it because my computer's just been up and it's been running for the last couple hours. And I closed my computer to come down here. So I paused the print, and I'm hoping when I go back up, I can't get it to reconnect down here, but I'm hoping when I go back up, I can reconnect it and it keeps going. I hope I didn't just waste all of that. I'm so bummed. Okay, here we go. Hold on. Blurb. Customer, no products. Sorry, guys. Collections. I just realized that says something wrong. Yeah, so hopefully it works out. Because it works. If it works, I would be like, oh, we can start selling this on the website. I cannot. It takes like 4 days to print this thing that I'm making. I'm making one of these. But you can only print 4 trays at a time, and it takes 4 hours to print 4 trays. So for me to print these, this is 4 hours, that's 8 hours, and then this is going to be another like 2, maybe 3 hours. But when I'm just making things for myself, it's fun. It's not a big deal. Okay. The 3D printer was the girls' Christmas present. We're making that. They're actually printing stuff for themselves, fish and just dumb things that they like. But we were sitting in for like 20 minutes. They were like trying to decide what they were going to print. And I finally said, forget it. I don't have an hour to sit while you guys twiddly diddly about what dumb little thing you guys want to print today. I'm printing something I know that I want, and I don't have to do that. And they're like, Mom, too bad. All right, updated that. Okay, that's updated. Okay. So those 3 coupon codes will work. Okay. And then, like I said, there's new UVDTFs. There's a couple new complete pack, total tumblers. We are going to be using, well, not today, the complete pack, but we're starting a tumbler to go with the Positive Vibes complete pack. We're making another one. We're going to do a glitter swirl today. We haven't done a glitter swirl in forever. I've wanted to do something different today. I feel like I've been doing just a lot of rhinestone work and not a lot of glittering. And so we're going to do a kind of a Milky Way glitter swirl. We call them glitter swirled, and somebody gave it the fancy name Milky Way, which it kind of looks like a Milky Way, and then that kind of stuck. So whatever you call it. It always made me laugh back in the day when tumbler making was getting really popular. Like all these techniques and things that I was changing, and I never called anything any like hang method. I called it hang method because I was doing it in my garage for years and it was hanging. So and everyone's like, what kind of method is this? I'm like, I don't know, hang method. And it wasn't like any fun names or anything. And then, new creators came on, started teaching the exact same techniques, but giving them fancy names and then acting like it was their technique. And I'm like, was it though? I'm like, if you didn't come on the scene 3 years ago, then you're just kind of repeating. This is me just being dramatic, but it's just funny because I'm like, all the techniques that we do are the same, like 5 techniques, just replayed or reworked. You need to start crafting again for your mental health. Oops. Heidi Rives. Yes, girl. Just go make something. Like me, I wouldn't be able to survive the situation that I'm in right now if I didn't just have this time to come down here and pretend like I'm working and make something. I'm like, leave me alone. I'm working. I am, technically. I'm busy. Okay, so got my chemical respirator on. So if you guys are just popping in, the 50 case of tumblers is up on the website. Also there's new UVDTFs up on the website, total tumblers. If you missed the custom mix, live mix glitter that Alyssa did, earlier in the week, that's under today's deals as well. There's a ton of new digital downloads. There's a bunch of new tumbler designs, new sublimation ready tumblers. Yeah, and we're ready to rock and roll. All right, so I am going to go ahead and suit up. I'm going to wear my chemical respirator. I've already got my natural gloves on. We're going to mix epoxy. We're going to do a glitter swirl. Okay, so if you've never done this, sorry. How am I feeling? Touch and go. Just kidding. I'm feeling great. Feeling good. Feeling good. We caught a bird today. So we have rat traps because that's the house we moved into. And but they're just sitting on the front porch because I've got one going at a time. I'm a mom. I can only handle one thing at a time, one rat trap at a time. And the girls made bird feeders. I sent them out with like the paper towel rolls, the middle, and peanut butter and bird seed. And I was like, go make bird feeders. And they're like, oh, and they were gone for like 20 minutes. It was a whole 20 minutes to myself. Just slather that peanut butter on there and they made these bird feeders. Super cute. But then when I walked out, there's bird seed all over the place. I'm like, oh, you guys, you got to clean this up because we're just feeding the rats at this point. Well, Jetsy Lou, they did go out and they kind of cleaned. And Jetsy Lou set one of the rat traps, like opened it up. It's a live rat trap. It's like a little cage and the door shuts and catches the live rat. And she set it and then she stuck it on top of the pile of seeds, thinking, oh, we'll catch a rat like this. But a bird went in there. This morning we went in, there was like a little sparrow thing, a little finch thing in there. It was terrified. Of course, I immediately let it go. And then the other girl's like, wait, we didn't want to see it. I was like, I'm sorry, I can't. The poor thing was absolutely terrified. Right. That's what's going. But I feel okay. I got a good night's sleep. I got such a good night's sleep that I didn't even notice that Lilu wasn't in the room with me. So Lilu sleeps like usually on top of me. Like if I go like this, she finds this little nook and she sleeps here. And when I roll, she like sleeps in the nook right here. She's always like right, like touching me generally. And I'm usually very aware of her. I did not notice that she wasn't there last night. And I've been taking Turbo out at like 11 o'clock at night. So I took him out and brought him in. He's having to sleep in his crate right now because we're having some issues. So I had to put him in his crate and I went to bed, sound asleep, didn't think anything of it. This morning I wake up and I hear like whining, but I've assumed at this point that the girls have cracked open my bedroom door to like see if I'm awake and because I sleep with noise canceling headphones on. So I assume they've cracked on the door and Lilu scared her out and that she's now whining at my door to be let in. But apparently the girl's like, no, she was crying all night long, Mom. Apparently, she had gone out the front door with me when I took Turbo to pee-pee, and when I came back in, she didn't come back in with me. Because usually that dog is an eighth of an inch away from my feet. She's super attached to me. So she'd gone off to go sniff something, and then I didn't know she was out there, and I just came in, went to sleep, didn't think. And luckily, her anxiety, she probably stayed on the front porch for a minute to see if I was coming back, but then she went around the side because she knows how to go up the back steps. I mean, she's been in our backyard, but usually I'm right there with her walking around. And she went around, found a little hole in the fence. We've lots of problems with our fence. Went through the fence, went up the back stairs. She didn't get through the gate. She's skinny enough. She's so tiny. She goes right through the bars on the gate and was sitting on the back porch. But then she was sitting on the back patio crying all night, like at the door. And I told the girls, well, why didn't you go get her? They're like, we thought she was in your room or at your room door. And I'm like, so you wouldn't, because they said it kept them up all night. And then this morning, they're like, no, she was on the back patio. I feel like the worst dog mom. So of course, but I'm like, how did I not notice her? Like I'm thinking about it, I'm like, because by the time when I'm taking him out at 11 o'clock, I am literally like zoning, like I'm ready to go to bed, but I'm like, oh, I have to take him out wet potty one more time because we've been having some potty issues with him. So I'm not going to like be a jerk and just like deal with it like overnight. Like I'm like, okay, we'll try it at least as late as I can possibly go. Take you out. We'll give you the shortest window of not going potty. All right, moving on. Here we go. But I slept great. All right, here we go. Oh, my ear. Let's go up here. There we go. All right, it's hooked on my ear. Oh my god. The screenshot of that was probably hilarious. Why is this so tight today? Feels really tight today. That's fine. Something's going on here because this is much tighter than it normally is. It's not bad, but. Oh, you just placed your first order. Welcome, Monica. Welcome, Monica. Did you remember to use your coupon codes? And did you remember to add your free? I'll go check. Hold on. I'm going to go check your order and you make sure you add your freebies. Okay, Monica, we do deals and discounts and things like every day. Monica talk to you. Hold on, let me refresh. Or is this an order that you got? When did you place your order? Am I looking for in today's orders? I just want to make sure you got all your freebies in there. Oh, there it is. I see it. Okay, let me just check it. Make sure you got your goodies. Well, you did. You got your free mini UVDTF. And all, oh, you got all the striping tapes. Yes, girl. Oh, you're going to do the cowgirl. Nice. Okay, perfect. Good. You got some good stuff in there. Nice. Oh, you only got one glue. You're going to want more glue. But I'm just saying, next time. But yeah, you got your freebie in there. On your next order, if you're going to place in the next couple days, there is a coupon code. There's 3 coupon codes today that work today and tomorrow. Okay. So always check today's deals because we always have some deals and goodies going on and some coupon codes or something new or something on sale going on with today's deals. Okay. So I'm suited up. We got our chemical respirator on, our nitrile gloves. Sorry, now I got to reset my thing. Okay. I am suited up. Okay, I'm suited up. I've got my nitrile gloves. I've got on my chemical respirator. You do want to wear that every time you work with epoxy. Safety first. Take care of your lungs. You get 1 set of them. So why not just take care of them? I love this Dragear chemical respirator that you see me wearing. This one, we do have it linked in our Amazon store. It's about $75 and it is super comfortable on your face. I have broken my nose 3 times. So I have a super sensitive nose and face. And so this one is super comfortable. I can wear it all day long. Now I am using a sublimation tumbler. Okay, this has a sublimation coating on it. I'm not going to be sublimating on it, but I have sanded this already. So if you look really, really close, you can kind of see the scratching. We just sanded this gently to scuff up the surface so that it has less chance of fisheyeing. The epoxy sticks really, really well. You get a really nice bond. It takes off that top coating, which is what you want to do. I'm basically just using the white as my base color. If I didn't want a base color of white, I could go ahead and then I'll sand it and then go ahead and spray paint it the color that I want. But the glitter colors that we're going to use today in our glitter swirl are going to be Gwyneth. This is our kaleidoscope glitter. If you do not have this, Gwyneth is amazing in person. It's a kaleidoscope glitter. Otis. Okay, this is going to be kind of, I always think this one has like a little bit of blue in it. It's kind of like a silver. To me, it has like an underlying, very soft blue tone to it. Hercules, which is a very, very tiny dad bod holographic silver. Then this really cute pink. It's just called custom iridescent glitter. This was, I think this went in like a birthday bag or something. Okay, Live Mix number 120 and George. Okay, so you can see we're kind of going with a pink, soft pink, silvery, kaleidoscopy, lavender kind of color tone for this one. So this is, now we've got it on our tumbler turner. These kind of turners are available all over Amazon. You can get them relatively inexpensive now for like
$25 for a turner. So I like the independent ones. You're going to see some that hold more than one tumbler. I have a couple of them. I don't prefer them because if one cup gets off kilter or tilty, you can't just go in and fix that one cup. You have to adjust the whole thing is all attached. I like these because if this one is for some reason off level for one reason or other, I can just take this one tumbler, stick something under it, and fix the problem and just deal with this one tumbler. So personally, I don't like the tumbler turners that have tons of tumblers on them or even more than one. I like the individual turners. So that's generally what you're going to see me use. Um, and so we've got this cup on there. So now we've got this cup sanded, which is prep sanded, washed, and ready to go on this turner. We've got it on our turner. We've got our silicone mat down. You guys can't see it's clear. That's just to protect our workspace. If epoxy hits this, it's easy to get it off. If it doesn't stick, so if it cures up on here, we can just peel it off later. All right, so we're going to set that off to the side really quick. We are going to make two bigger batches of epoxy because we're going to do a swirl. So we're going to make we're going to make about 50 to 60 grams of epoxy for swirl. When you're doing a swirl, you are using more than your normal epoxy coat. So a normal epoxy coat on a 20-ounce tumbler is going to be about 20 grams of epoxy. Because we are doing a swirl, we need a little bit extra because we want to get that epoxy really moving. If it's too thin of a coat, it won't move, it won't swirl. So we want to use a little extra. We may have leftovers. It's always nice to have a tumbler around that you want to use that extra glitter on or extra like to glitter the butt of the tumbler. Because these glitter colors are close to this tumbler. This is one of our sublimated tumblers that we have on the website. The glitter colors are kind of close to this. I'm going to have this one sitting here, so if I have extra, I can just pour it on the butt, and we've got her butt is getting glittered today. So that's just kind of our leftovers. We have a project ready to go for any leftover epoxy that we don't use because we want to utilize every single drop. Epoxy is not cheap, so we don't want to waste. We want to utilize it all. Okay. So I take my Sharpie pen, which I mark on my tumbler, my little cups. That's not my Sharpie. I mark on my little cups the spot that I want to pour my epoxy to, because it's just easier to see the black mark, the little black marks on my cups when I'm working quickly, especially when I'm on camera with you guys. I'm doing everything quite quickly and pouring and talking at the same time and reading comments and all that. Okay, then I'm going to take my epoxy. Now, if you are new to following me, yes, this is very old epoxy. It is yellowed. This is oxidized. It doesn't matter. Okay, oxidized epoxy still works fine. It's just yellowed in the jar. This is like close to 2 years old, I think. Epoxy does have a shelf life, but the shelf life is only pertaining to it oxidizing. So the epoxy will still properly cure. It'll be fine. It just means that the oxidizing has happened. Oops, too much in that one. Still too much. All right, sorry. It has oxidized. When you mix it, it goes back to pretty much clear. It might have the absolute tiniest tint, but once you spread it thin across your whole tumbler, you're not going to really notice it. All epoxy oxidizes. All epoxy eventually yellows. So it's not like you're avoiding it because you used your epoxy in the first 6 months and it's still fine. We have, I do know what I'm talking about. We used to manufacture our own epoxy. We stopped. Importing epoxy has become a nightmare. So we just stopped bringing in our own brand of epoxy. So I can speak with some authority on this. Like, you're doing okay. Like, yes, it has a shelf life. If you were buying it from a company, you want to get it early so that it's not oxidized. But if you buy a big jug and you don't use it right away, and you see it's when you go to pull it out again, and you see that it's all yellowed out, don't worry. Just keep using it. Okay. You can add a drop of blue food coloring to it. I like the gel food coloring. That's going to kind of counteract that yellow. Okay. It's pretty cold down here, so my epoxy is a little thick. As we measure it out, we're doing equal parts A and B. I could do this in one big giant cup, but we're just doing 2 smaller cups. So basically what I'm doing is I'm just measuring it out until I see that it's full all the way up to that spot. to my line that I made. That way I know I've got exactly 15 grams and 15 grams. If you measure in properly, your epoxy won't cure properly. So this is a very important step, is making sure you mix and prepare your epoxy. So take your time. That's why I mark my cup. I'm a little bit more careful. Now, when I mix my epoxy, I don't stir carefully. I'm not worried about it, especially in a glitter swirl. Okay, we're going to be able to pop the bubbles once we get the epoxy on the tumbler. So we're just going to go ahead and stir, 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 stir. Really quick. Always scrape the outside of the jars. Sorry, your container that you're mixing in, and scrape your stir stick a few times. This is going to help you get your epoxy really well stirred. Because think about when you stir a batch of brownies. Okay, when you stir a batch of brownies, if you only stir in the middle, all that powder goes whoop, up against the side. I'll just touch my fingers in there. All that powder goes right, the brownie powder goes up against the side of the bowl. If you don't scrape those in, it doesn't get mixed in properly, right? It doesn't get mixed in. The liquid and the powders don't get mixed in. You have all this powder chunkiness along the edge. So imagine that's your epoxy. You've done that with your epoxy, but you haven't scraped it and put it back into the main bowl and stirred it in. When you scrape it all out and you put it in your pan to cook it, all that powder is just going to be stuck on the top, and it's not going to bake in properly, and it's not going to cook properly, and you're going to have this weird powder. Okay, it's the same thing with epoxy. If you don't scrape and stir a couple times, you're going to end up with a part A or part B that's kind of gone up on those edges that is not mixed in properly, and then it won't cure properly. You're going to have big sticky spots all over your tumbler. So the key to stirring is to make sure as you're stirring, you scrape the sides, the bottom, the edges, and your stir stick multiple times. Get in there, stir. Every time I stir, I'm always pushing the stir stick all the way against the bottom to make sure I get all those little bits off the bottom. Okay, scrape off that stir stick, go back in, stir some more, scrape those sides, scrape again. Okay, this is how you avoid sticky spots or uncured epoxy. This is very important. Now you can see I'm not worrying about how I stir. If I'm doing a big deep pour and I'm trying to encapsulate like a beautiful rose bouquet inside a huge mold that's deep, and I don't want any air bubbles in, yeah, I would be using a 3-to-1 epoxy, not this big thick tumbler epoxy. And I would be stirring slower to avoid any kind of air bubble. But we're not doing that. So we've got 2 cups already. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 colors. So we need 4 cups. And we're going to pour a little epoxy into each one of these. Okay. Okay. Little epoxy in each one. Okay, a little epoxy and a little epoxy. Okay, so we've got 6 separate containers. These are going to be for each of our glitters. Okay. Actually, I need a teeny bit left over. Hold on. We need about 3 or 4. We need a few grams separate. We need 3 grams that we're not going to put any glitter in. Okay. So now we're going to go in and we're going to select which our colors are. We're going to just do, I'm not going to be any particular way about one color having more than the other. We're just going to get them in there. But if you want more purple or more pink in your glitter, or one glitter to really stand out, you're going to choose that one. Make sure you put that glitter in the batch that's the biggest amount of epoxy. Okay, so we're just putting a little bit of glitter in each one. Again, I got Live Mix 120, George. This is our custom iridescent purple. I did all iridescent glitters, by the way. Well, sorry, no, first was going to go all iridescent. These first 3 are iridescent. Now this is a holographic. Hercules is a silver digital holographic. I'll show you guys these in just a second up close. Okay, Otis. Okay, Otis. And Gwyneth. Gwyneth is my favorite, so we're making her the biggest batch. This one has the most epoxy in it, so we're going to do that as our biggest. Oh, Gwyneth is our kaleidoscope glitter. If you have not gotten any of our kaleidoscope glitters, I highly recommend them. They're super ultra premium glitters, and our coupon code glitter50 does work on those on the website. Okay, Where did I just put my stir stick? There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna stir these in. I actually think I'm gonna add just a touch of George to our base color. Now that I think about it. Oops, that's way too much. Just a touch of George. Okay, so this is gonna be our base. We're gonna be putting this onto our tumbler here in just a second. Get that guy ready to go. Okay, and then we're gonna stir. It does not matter. I do not need to necessarily clean my stir stick in between each glitter because these are all gonna be swirled together on the same cup. So you're gonna have them all touching each other anyway, so I'm not gonna super overthink it. Okay, we're just mixing each glitter color in. So George is one of our fantasy whites. Okay, super duper beautiful white opalescent. He's got a little punch of that lavender, like the electric purple that pops off. Okay, then our custom iridescent glitter, super pretty, pinkish, kind of pinkish lavendery color. Constance, this is our kaleidoscope glitter. It's a big, heavy, chunky. The big, heavy, chunky really serves Constance well. That's how you get to see all that kaleidoscope pop off of it. It's got a fuzz. Okay. Hercules is our dad bod holographic. Okay. And Otis. Okay, so each one is now mixed up and ready to rock and roll. Okay, so then we're going to bring in our tumbler. I always clean my tools right away. You don't want this floating around with epoxy on it because you could stick your elbow in it and ruin your shirt or whatever. It's just better to have no epoxy, just loosey-goosey floating around on your workstation. I'm going to move my glitters off to the side and reach so they're easy to grab. Then we're going to grab our tumbler. Now, we're actually going to take the tumbler off the front real quick. So when you do these glitter swirls, this is an important part of this glitter swirl. You want to take your tumbler and you want to apply a thin coat of epoxy over the top. This is going to be for the surface tension of the tumbler. If you do your glitter swirl and you miss the step, you're going to struggle and have your epoxy is going to want to fisheye and retract off areas of your tumbler because of the surface tension. Okay, this is a doming product. Epoxy is a doming product. Ooh, there's a fuzz. Okay, epoxy is a doming product. So it will dome up around the edges. Looks like a drop of water on a tabletop. When you drop a drop of water, it edges up and turns into a little bead of water on the table. This does the same thing. That is from surface tension. So if you don't release that surface tension, that's going to do that. So all these little drizzles, as you drizzle them on, they're going to stay in little drizzle marks because they're going to have that surface tension. But by adding a layer of epoxy, I added a little scotch of glitter to mine, so the whole base of my tumbler will have a little bit of that George. And by adding this little bit of epoxy, you're breaking that surface tension. Okay, we're just bringing it down. But this does not need to be a hang method layer. If you've ever seen me do hang method, we're kind of applying it like the hang method because it is a thin amount. But this doesn't need to be hang method layers. We're going to slap a whole bunch of glitter and epoxy on top of this. And it's not going to hang to dry. It's going to be on that turner. Okay, we're just going to have messy little hands here in a second because we're going to grip this tumbler and stick it on the turner. Okay, so we're just putting this thin coat of epoxy down to get that surface tension cruising. Okay, oh, now it's all on. Okay, so I'm going to take my tumbler. I'm going to go ahead and grab it. I'm not worried about it. It's not a lot of epoxy on here. Yes, this is a little bit messy, but now you can just apply this carefully right onto that tumbler. I'm not worried about having to clean my hands a little bit with my okay. You know me, normally I'm putting one finger in the epoxy, but we're just rolling today. Okay, so I'm just gonna wipe my hand off with the baby wipe because just like my tools, I don't like to leave any straggling epoxy. So I'm just gonna clean those fingers off just so I don't accidentally brush my back of my hair or pick up something and touch it and then get epoxy all over it. So we're cleaning that epoxy right off of our hands. Okay, so now we're going to get our turner going. Okay, so if you were just jumping in, welcome y'all. What we've got going on so far on this tumbler is we've got our tumbler turner started. You can find these on Amazon, a machine like this. They're inexpensive. Okay, you got your tumbler turner rocking and rolling. The foam is inside holding the tumbler onto the cup. The cup was gently sanded. If you don't want a white base, you can spray paint your tumbler, sand your tumbler, sand your tumbler, then spray paint it any color that you want, whatever base color you want. I liked white because all of my glitter colors are going to be kind of light pastel-y. Then we put a thin coat, about 3 to 5 grams of epoxy kind of on it just to break that surface tension. Now we're going to go in and we're going to drizzle our glitter onto this tumbler. Okay, so we're going to pick our glitters. I'm going to add my whites last because they're going to get drowned out really quickly. But we're going to put on, let's put our kaleidoscope on first. Now this does not particularly matter. You're not going for exacts on anything. If you're doing a glitter swirl, nothing about this tumbler is exact, unless you're trying to do like one little pink swirl from the middle all the way up, then you're going to go ahead and apply it like that. But we're really going for kind of a full swirl cup where these will all blend together. These are all going to kind of mix together. And we're just kind of smearing this around onto the tumbler. Like I said, I wanted this tumbler to be heavy in this kaleidoscope glitter. It's absolutely gorgeous. Make sure to put some on the butt. Don't leave your butt naked. Okay. Now I've got a little bit left in my cup. I'm not going to put it all on there. I'm going to leave a little bit behind in case there's like a little gap or somewhere that I see at the end that needs a little bit more of that. So we're getting our first batch down. Can we do a blue rhinestone mix? We have a ton of blue rhinestone mixes already on the website. There's actually a blue rhinestone mix on with a coupon code today. Yep. So the coupon codes, if you go to the website, the link is in our bio or at the bottom of the screen if you're on Facebook or YouTube. And then click on the bio and go to today's deals and you'll see codes, coupon codes there. The Dreamer coupon code is for 2 different rhinestone mixes. Both have blue in them. And it's a buy one, get one free. Yeah. So we have 2 active coupon codes today with that buy one, get one free coupon codes. Buy this, get that free. Okay. So now we're going in with our Hercules. Okay, Hercules is our silver dad bod. Again, putting some on the butt. Make sure also go along that outer edge. Want to get that edge, some coverage on that edge. Okay. And again, gonna leave some behind in case we need to fill in some gaps down the road. Okay. Now we're gonna go with Otis. You can see I'm also kind of doing my dark colors. So Otis is going to drizzle down in here. Okay, we're just using our stir stick. You can use a toothpick. You can use a silicone tool. You could use your finger to do this part. I'm using our little stir stick, our silicone stir sticks. I like the silicone stir sticks because if I do happen to forget to clean it, the epoxy just picks right off of it the next day because it's silicone. It doesn't stick. Okay. Drizzle it in. Dribble drop a little on the bottom. Like I said, you're not going for perfection at this point. You're just trying to get it on. We're going to get this moving with some heat and get it swirling. Now, you don't have to apply heat. We're going to apply heat to get it swirling just a touch. You do not have to apply heat to do a glitter swirl. You can just apply the glitter exactly where you want it, like this, and then leave it. It's obviously going to move just a little bit as it turns because it is a self-leveling product and you're putting kind of a lot on. So it's going to self-level a little bit and move, but you can kind of guide it where you want it more and just leave it. You do not have to heat it, but you're going to see me heat it. We're going to heat it up. All right. I keep dripping on the table. Man, it's been a long time since I got epoxy on the table and now 2 days in a row. All right, so now we're going to go in with our light pink. Again, like I said, I'm saving that light color, the whites for the end. So we're just going to go kind of in here and fill in some of these gaps with this lighter color pink. We're using, on this tumbler, we're using iridescence, we're using metallics, we're using holographic, and we're using our kaleidoscope. If you have not seen our kaleidoscope glitters, go on the website and search kaleidoscope. Gwyneth is one of them. It's absolutely stunning. Gwyneth is the one we're using here on the website, on this tumbler. Okay, we're just going in here, meshing this around. You can see how thick this glitter is on here. around the outside. Okay, we've got a little left over. Okay, now we're gonna go in with our fine light. And we're just gonna, I'm gonna kind of touch this into the spaces that are left. Okay, so we're just adding it in, getting all the way at the top here. It's already starting to move. I've got so much epoxy on here that the epoxy is starting to move naturally on its own because it's getting heavily saturated onto the tumbler. All right, I'm going to pause on that because I definitely want some of this chunky live mix 120 on there, and I don't want to we're about to have almost too much glitter on this epoxy tumbler. Okay, I want some of this chunky white. Okay. Now, like I said, this one, I can see there's already movement trying to happen on this tumbler. I almost don't need to heat this tumbler up. I think it would swirl naturally on its own because we do have quite a bit of epoxy on here. With a glitter swirl, you do want to make sure your tumbler is level. You can see it's slightly off level, and you can see a lot of that glitter is trying to bunch up right here on the butt. Because it's all kind of working its way down there. All right, we have definitely plenty of glitter here, so I'm not in a rush. That's the thing about epoxy is you're not in a rush. You can take your time to work. So I do have extra. So I'm going to move this off to the side for just a second. I'm going to move this tumbler in, and I'm going to go ahead and apply all the leftover glitter to the bottom of this tumbler. Okay, this is just a tumbler that will eventually get epoxied and rhinestone. We like our little glitter butts on our glitter tumbler, our rhinestone tumblers. I'm going to turn my cups upside down on my tray, on my silicone mat. It's just my habit. That's how I do it. Okay, we're going to add this in there. Okay. So we're just kind of doing a glitter swirl on the bottom of this tumbler. Now I could have mixed all these glitters together and then just poured it on here. I think this will be a fun, just different, unique way to have it. Swirl it around. Feel the butt of that tumbler. Okay, I actually have enough for more than one. Clear tool. Take my finger, clean that edge. Okay, and now this will be moved behind me to cure and finish. And let's grab dragon. I think we do have enough for this guy. So we're gonna just take our dragon. This is when we started rhinestoning a long time ago. Get this guy done. Drop Gwyneth on there. Okay. And this is just utilizing all of our epoxy so we don't waste anything. You can also have little like ear bezels or ring bezels or little small keychain molds on your station so that you can use your epoxy that way. It doesn't have to be on the bottom of the tumbler. You can make little earrings. I recommend if you do booths, I recommend buying a bunch of blank earring bezels and just doing your little drip drops into those earring bezels. And then when you have your booth, I see them at like Marshalls and Ross every once in a while, but you can order them on Amazon. They're like little grabber, like little small little those little claw machines, but they're like for candy and little doodads. I recommend putting like the little earrings and the little charms and little keychain things that you do in those grabbers and charging $1 per token. And then they get to like do the little claw machine for $1 and try to get a pair of earrings or whatever little goodies are in there. And you're making money very easily on products and things that would have just kind of been a waste for you, right? And it also draws people to your booth. It's really interesting. It's fun. Kids love it. All right, so there we go. So now we've got our glitter butt going on this dragon guy. Sorry, you guys, I just realized some of your angles isn't great. All right, so we're gonna get this guy going. So this guy is swirling. He's swirling without me heating it. But I want to show you guys the heat process. So let me get my heat gun out. We're gonna take a heat gun. I recommend a heat gun over a torch. You're more likely to burn your epoxy using a torch. But if you're real comfortable with your torch, if you've been using a torch for years, you're gonna be fine. So I have to unplug one of my steel, like plug this together. So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna take your heat gun. Sorry, I got a prop. So this guy is definitely not level. He's trying to push the epoxy down to this butt. You can see a little muffin, a little mushroom butt starting right there. So we level them out so it stops doing that. Okay, so we're just gonna take our heat gun and just gently warm it. The minute you start seeing that epoxy move is when you're done. This is only gonna take one round. I can always see the epoxy unlocking. You don't want to go and go and keep going and going. There is no way to keep this and be like, okay, this is perfect how it is right now, and walk away and be done. Because it's self-leveling, it's gonna move for the first hour. You can already see the muffin dot is leveling out now that I've leveled this tumbler. You just want to warm this epoxy up just so it will fill a little bit, and then you just be done. Okay. Okay, and I think we are finished. I can see that epoxy is really starting to move. So over the next hour, just that little bit of heat gets that epoxy really moving very gently. You don't want it to be moving a lot. If I was to keep heating that, it would get really moving. But then what happens over time before it seizes up and stops moving, it eventually like stirs itself, right? It will mix all these colors together. They'll all kind of combine and they'll look just like one glitter color that's been all mixed together. We don't want that. We like this swirl pattern on this tumbler. So we're stopping here. We want just a little bit of movement in that epoxy and we're going to let it go. Now, the first coat on a glitter swirl, generally if you're using a lot of epoxy like I did, you could end up having some little ripples on it. You're not going for this perfect glass flat coat on this first round. This first round is getting your glitter in place, getting this beautiful swirl. Then your next coats will start filling in any little rivers and valleys because you can see where the chunkier glitter is kind of coming together from a little bit higher. There's like a little ridge. That will also kind of smooth out, but I can tell you by tomorrow when I come here, is your surface covered? Is your surface covered? It's dripping. Oh yeah, we're on a silicone mat. So that's what I was also going to show you is you can, if you see drips, it's hard for me to do when I'm on camera with you guys. If you see drips, you can get your cup and catch it or put a mold underneath your tumbler to catch those drips so that you can utilize them. You can go with the silicone thing and scoop that up. Now, this is a good example. This right here, this little drip that's down here on the table, it's hard to see, but that's like a bunch of colors that have kind of, this bottom has kind of blurred together and then dripped off. That if you got the glitter moving too much on your cup, that's what it would all ultimately look like. It was just all these glitters mixed up and kind of be like a gray light mix, honestly. But we don't want that, so we're going to just let it sit just like that. All right. So this is this process. This is a glitter swirl. We're going to let this dry and cure up overnight. And then tomorrow we can come in and start with the next steps. All right. Thank you guys for hanging out, and we'll see you guys next time. Not you guys. Not you guys. So I've actually started, I used to either have my second camera going with either Instagram or Instagram or TikTok on it. And I've actually started realizing I could just, instead of going on one or the other, because I only have that extra camera, I'm going to film it and then I can post it to both. Drip, drip, drip. Yep, it's dripping a little bit. Now, I don't worry about drips on my turners. You can see my turners. These are like 10 years old and they've taken a beating. But if you want to be cleaner, then I leave those drips on the table because I don't like to peel them up. It's like a fun little, so. All right, y'all. So if you guys are just coming in, hi, everybody. I felt like doing a little glitter swirling today. I wanted to do a cup that's a little different than our normal. The glitter colors that I used are Gwyneth. This is going to be the kaleidoscope glitter. If you have not, does not catch it on camera properly. If you have not seen a kaleidoscope glitter in person, they are amazing. Okay, Gwyneth, Otis, Hercules, George, a fine white, custom iridescent glitter. It's actually on the website. That's what it's called on the website. And Live Mix 120. That is what's on this cup today. Now, I'm going to be pairing those with the Positive Vibes Complete Pack. See, now you see my color, kind of my color choices were intentional to kind of go with these guys. I'm going to use these big flower bundles. I'm going to use the pretty fairy that's sitting in the middle of the flower. I'm going to use the be the energy you want to attract. These are all going on that tumbler. We're going to have our little decorated tumbler using this complete pack. So I thought we'd get that tumbler started. The butt looks great. I'm not even going to heat the butt up. If you get the butt going too much, you can end up with, if you heat up the butt, you can end up with muffin drippy butt, and then it's not level. So we're just going to leave the butt as is. So, all right, you guys. If you haven't been up on the website, there are 2 new total tumblers on the website. Both are amazing. There's a couple regular size UVDTFs. There's a full sheet of steampunk roses. I know it's been really quiet. There's a full sheet of steampunk roses up on the website. There is a case of 50 sublimation ready tumblers up on the website. The case, when you buy the case, we pay for your shipping, and it ultimately comes to about $3.65 per tumbler, which is a smoking deal. So that is up on the website as well. There's a new the black background with the red roses on it on the website as an RBD. So you can buy that as a vinyl, a sublimation print, the stones, whatever, however you want. Those stones are available in resin and glass on the website. And then there is, from yesterday, there's the a la carte RBD is up on the website. There's UVDTS from yesterday as well that we launched last night. So if you missed that, there's tons of new tumbler designs up on the website. So there's always good stuff. All right. You can't pass up a deal like that. Yep. It's a smoking deal. So all that stuff is up on the website today. It's ready to go for you guys. The 3 coupon codes are active and can be used. There's no limit on those. You can buy as many of those as you want. It's not like a 1 per person thing. So if you guys got on, but you're like, oh, I got to round out my cart, I'd love to get the freebies again. Go ahead, grab the freebies again. There's no limit. It's just when they're gone, they're gone. That coupon code will work through tomorrow. Okay. Is there a sneak peek of the new RBD? I showed it, the one that it shipped this week. I did sneak peek it. Let me see if I can bring it up real fast. How fast can I find this? The computer doesn't like to work fast in here. Let's see. RBD January. This is the RBD for January. Sorry, you got the glare. The studio lights glare right on the computer screen. Sorry, I don't know how to angle it where you can see it without a glare. Okay. It's kind of like, we call it tide water or beach water. It kind of looks like, you know, when the wave comes up on the beach and then pulls out, and then the foam on the top. So the colors are kind of underneath it, and then the foam is like the white is would be the foam, and then the darker color underneath. The lines underneath is supposed to be like the shadow of the foam through the water. So it's beautiful. I am hoping there's some leftovers because that's what I want to do. That is what I would be inspired to make myself. So, all right, y'all, I got to jam because I got to go pick up this baby from prairie school. And we'll see you later. All right. Bye, everybody.